Social protection is the means by which we look after our people. We provide savings, we provide protection. We may do so through government, but we may also do so through private sector companies. In fact, private sector companies have a role to play in social protection. Some might disagree with that, but it really is not something that government can do on its own. The point is, though, that government has an interest in making sure that social protection works. In fact, it has a constitutional obligation to make sure that social protection works. And so it's going to do its best to make sure that it is working in practice. So what forms of social protection might the private sector be interested in? Let's look at two of them. Saving is what we might call enablement. It allows you to do better in your life. In fact, if you have saving, you are in a position to take more risks. You are in a position to adventure a little bit more in your life because saving is there as an enabler. Insurance is primarily a safety net. Insurance protects you if things go wrong. Insurance is there if the car gets smashed, if you lose your life. Insurance is there to make sure that you or your dependents don't fall off the cliff. They say that many South Africans are one disaster away from absolute poverty. Well, insurance is there to protect that. Now, savings and insurance actually play off on one another. So savings is in itself a form of insurance. If you have savings and you crash your car, you have a means of getting to work back on your feet again. Insurance, on the other hand, is not only a safety net, but an enabler as well. It, too, allows you to take further risks. Now, the issue is this. If the private sector is going to provide savings and insurance, then it really needs to do so responsibly. It needs to walk in the shoes, in the feet, as it were, of its customers. If it doesn't do that, then does it have the right to provide this at all? Or at the very least, is it providing that social protection role that we're looking for from the private sector? So then, how should it go out to meet these needs? Well, quite frankly, as I've said, to walk with its customers. You can't, from Sandton, living in Rosebank, commuting to Sandton and complaining about the traffic, you can't claim to understand the needs of your customers in Alex or in Khayelitsha or in Kuruman. You need to walk in their shoes. You need to meet their needs, and you need to do so demonstrably. The problem is that if the private sector is not doing this adequately, then government is well within its rights to ask whether the private sector has a role to play in providing these elements of social protection, savings, insurance, and others. Government, for example, pays a fortune in incentives for pension savings. Why should it do that if the private sector is squandering those tax incentives in the way it designs products that are actually more for the needs of the insurer or the financial services provider, or indeed its distribution channel, than ultimately for its customers? And if that doesn't scare the established players enough, then think on this. If you don't meet the needs of your customers will find ways to meet those needs themselves. And in this digital age, they can move away from you very, very quickly. There are nimble players yapping away, snapping away at your ankles, and they will take your customers away from you.